I again welcome you to my YouTube channel. It is still your teacher Osbert Nwarinda. We are in a series of looking at the topic known as a subtopic known as histology and cell biology. Now, for all my dear friends who are always following me, in the previous episode we were looking at tissues, but specifically simple epithelial tissues. And then in the next episode, we were able to look at compound epithelial tissues, and we were able to see that compound epithelial tissues is divided into stratified and transitional, and we looked at all those details about each. In case you haven't watched that, please go and watch that. But in this case, we want to look at another type of epithelial tissues. Remember, we said that epithelial tissues are categorized into simple epithelial tissues, and then compound epithelial tissues. But we're able to see that in some cases, simple, these are made up of one layer of cells. We're able to see, or in the previous video, that compound epithelial tissues are made up of very many layers. However, we saw that there are some other tissues which line up surfaces. But apart from lining up surfaces, there is something special about these tissues, and something special is that these tissues are secretory. They do a lot of secretion. And that one gives us, therefore, a third category here of epithelial tissues which are specifically for which secrete different substances. And that is what we are calling the glandular tissue. The glandular tissue, or the glandular epithelial what? Epithelial tissue. Now, in this video, my friend, we are going to expound more on the glandular tissue. So please invite a friend, or after this video, make sure you share and give to a friend so that they can also be able to learn what you're about to learn. Now, glandular tissues, we are saying, these are epithelial tissues which are secretory. They have got a work of secreting. They are secretory in function. They do a lot of secretion. Yes, that doesn't mean that other things don't secrete. They also secrete, but this one is specifically for secretion. Now, and of course, majorly, glandular epithelial tissues majorly includes the glands. And when it comes to glands here, you know very well that glands are of two major categories. And those two major categories, we have what we call endocrine glands. We have what we call endocrine glands, and we have also got what we call exocrine glands. Exocrine glands. Now, the difference between these two is that I think even from your ordinary biology, we remember that endocrine glands are those glands which have no ducts. In other words, we say that they are ductless. In other words, they secrete their substances. They secrete their hormones directly inside the blood. So it is blood which transports the different secretions that they produce. However, exocrine on the other hand, these ones have ducts. Ducts are like pipe-like structures that transport substances from the gland to a given to a given area or site of action. So these ones have got ducts, these ones are ductless. Now, when we come to exocrine glands, these exocrine glands are categorized into three. We categorize them into three. And what are those three categories? One, we have got exocrine glands which we say, depending, and this categories I'm going to put here is dependent, or it is depending on the mode of what? The mode of action. How the glands release their substances. So, in terms of mode of action, we have got exocrine glands which we say that they are merocrine, which we say they are merocrine glands. We have also got glands which are called apocrine. And we have also got glands which we say we have merocrine, we have apocrine, and we have got glands which we call holocrine. There is a friend of mine whom I was sharing with this, and then he was telling me, teacher, for me, the only way, the best way I remember these things is by saying, you know, this is apocrine. Apocrine means it is something has something to do with a part. This is like part, apocrine, part. And then he was like, when it comes to holocrine, this holo, it means the whole. And then she was telling me that's how they easily remember what it's all about, what each of these one is all about. That this is apo, part, holo, the whole. And then I was like, now what about this one here? And then she told me that here, this one here is don't tamper. Here we don't tamper with anything. In other words, what am I trying to say? Depending on the mode of action, merocrine glands are those exocrine glands whereby when they are secreting their substances, the cell that is secreting, the cell within a tissue that is secreting does not have any damage, does not get any disturbance. In other words, the substances or the secretions here, the secretions just pass through the cell surface surface membrane. Here the secretions just pass through the surface membrane, and the cell does not get any kind of disturbance or any kind of damage on it. Now, or does not lose anything. Now, what about this one here? Unlike merocrine, apocrine glands are those glands whereby when the gland is going to produce a given substance, part of the cytoplasm, part of cytoplasm, and of course certainly part of the membrane, part of the cell membrane. For those ones who know about exocytosis, part of the cytoplasm is what is lost as the part of the cytoplasm of a cell is lost as the gland secretes whatever it is secreting. As the gland secretes whatever it is secreting. So in this case, it means part of the cytoplasm is lost. When we come here, holocrine, the whole of it, like what the other friend of mine was telling me about. In holocrine glands, it means here, the whole cell becomes disintegrated. Actually, a very good example under apocrine, where part of the cytoplasm is lost, is, for example, a gland like what? A gland like here, the best example we have, I can give you is, for example, mammary gland. Mammary gland. So as the kid is sucking the milk, as the kid is sucking milk from the breast of the mother, it means that milk that is coming out is part of the cytoplasm of a cell within the mammary gland that is secreting at that particular moment. So a mammary gland, when during the process of secreting, it loses part of its cytoplasm as it is secreting the milk it is secreting. So that's why it's called, it's under apocrine. Now, on holocrine, we are saying here, the whole cell disintegrates. Here, there is the whole cell, the entire cell disintegrates. Disintegrates during the secretion. The whole cell becomes destroyed as it is secreting the substance. For example, the best example here is a gland known as, there's a gland which is known as sebaceous gland. Sebaceous gland. Sebaceous gland, this is the gland which is found in the skin that produces an oily substance known as sebum that keeps your skin moist. So that gland, when it is producing whatever it is, when it is producing that sebum, the whole cell which is going to secrete, the whole of it gets disintegrated. So such kind of glands, we say they are holocrine. Then somebody might be saying that you have not given us an example under merocrine. Now, in merocrine gland here, the best example we have here, the best example I can give you is for example, the thyroid gland. No, not thyroid, but I can give an example like the sweat gland. Yeah, the sweat gland. So for the sweat gland, when it is also producing something, for it, the sweat just, components of sweat just, they fuse out. They move out of the cell surface membrane and they go into a duct. Then from the duct, they are taken outside of the body. So that is as far as mode of action is concerned. However, there is another categorization of exocrine glands, and this categorization of exocrine gland depends on this other categorization of endocrine gland depends on the structure or the shape of the gland. In that, therefore, allow me to take you through that. Apart from depending on the mode of action, we have got also another way how exocrine glands are categorized. And what is that? Exocrine glands can also be categorized in this way, especially depending on the shape, depending on the shape of the gland. Depending on the shape of the gland, we can have exocrine glands in the following categories. One, we have got a gland which is going to be, I'm going to use shapes here. We have got a gland which is having this shape here. We have got a gland which is having a shape which is like that, which is like a tube, which is like a test tube. We have a gland which is like this. We have also got a gland which is like in form of a sac, in form of a ball, which you can call it a sac, in form of a sac. Now, this, which is like this gland which are just like this, we call this one, for example, which is like a sac, we call it simple sacula. Simple sacula gland. It is simple sacula because it is made up of, it's just only a single component, a single structure. And then sacula because it is like a sac. Now this one which is like a tube, I think now you can know what it is called. Because it's like a tube, we can call it simple. We can call it simple, but what? Tubular. And it is in form of a tube. Now we are saying that apart from this, we have another situation where this gland, for example, let me first give you an example here. This kind of a gland, if you go and now check out how the different structures of the different glands you have in your body, this gland is how the mucus secreting glands, for example, in the frog, this is how they look like. For example, here the example we are saying this one is found in it is a mucus. The example here we have the mucus secreting gland. Mucus secreting gland, for example, in amphibians. Mucus secreting glands in amphibians. This is how they look like. They look like that. They are like that. Likewise, when you come here, this kind of glands which are like this, they are found in the intestines, small intestines of mammals, and they are in those structures we call, actually they are called those structures are called crypts. Yeah, crypts of Laibacune. Yes, crypts of Laibacune within the small what? Within the small intestines. Within the small intestines, we have glands which are like this, which are of this shape. Now we are saying apart from that, now we are the other things that are the other glands I'm going to put here are going to be just a modification of these ones here. For example, we have another situation where you have a gland which is like this, and then it's supposed to be tubular. It's supposed to be tubular like this. But now what happens is that when it reaches down here, instead of it being one tube, this tube again subdivides, and after subdividing, you find yourself having, instead of having one tube, now this tube again subdivides, and you end up having another tube here, then you have another tube here, you have another tube here like that. So it means what was supposed to be one tube now has been subdivided into very many other tubes, like the way you see here. Likewise, even in this side, you find that this was supposed to be one sac like this, one sac like that, a simple structure like that. But now, in this case, you find that this one gets subdivided. It gets subdivided further. The one which was supposed to be one sac, now we get this part, it gets another sac like that. Then we have another sac like that. Then we have another one like here. Not necessarily that they are supposed to be 3, they can be more than 3, but in this format there. So in this case, it means what was originally the simple sacula has been subdivided. It has been branched. So what we do, how we call this one, we just come to the simple sacula and we say that now this one here is simple. Then in between the sacula we add, branched. So this is simple branched sacula exocrine gland. Why? Yes, it is still simple because this is not yet complex. It is still a simple one. The one which is compound, you are going to see it. Yeah, but because it has been branched, that's why we are calling it simple branched, but circular. And this is how, by the way, this is how the gland within your skin, the gland within your skin, which is called a sebaceous gland, is how it looks like. The example here of a gland which is having this kind of a shape is called a sebaceous what? The sebaceous gland. The sebaceous gland within your skin. This is how it looks like. So it is simple. Now, if we have called this one simple branch circular, now, I know if you are following me very well, I know you can now easily tell what is going to be here. So this one, it means now this one I can call it. If this other one has been called simple branch circular, this one, therefore it is called simple. Simple, say that next word. Yeah, that's simple. It is simple. Now it means this one is also simple branched. Simple branched, but what? But tubular. Yeah, simple branched, but tubular. Yeah, so this is how it is now. This gland, if you want to also, this gland also part is also, most of the glands within the digestive system, they are like this. For example, the gland within within in your small intestine, we have got what we call Brunner's gland. We have got what we call Brunner's gland. Brunner's gland. Within the intestines, we have got a gland which is called the Brunner's gland. This is how it looks like. We also have got a gland which is called we also got the gastric glands. The gastric glands, most of the glands within the digestive system are also are more of tube-like. So these glands here, this is the shape they have. So you have this tube, this tube, this tube. They all later join up in one tube, which will now, this tube of course is what we are calling the duct. So all these ones here later join up their section into one duct, and then that duct takes the section into different places. So that is the simple branch. Now, I know you are enjoying, and you don't need to let this knowledge or what you are enjoying to just miss like that. Please, if you have not subscribed, take a few minutes or just a second and tap on the subscription channel. And if you are liking this, and I'm sure you are liking this video, please also give me a like on this video. Please give me a comment. Give me a comment down there. So, if we can continue here, we are saying that the simple branched. Now we have another category here, a third category here. And this category is this one. I want you to follow very well. Check. Now here, we are after that, all the other things that I'm going to put here are just modifications of this. Now you see. Instead, I'm going to modify this one. Originally, I was having this, which was modified to this. And now I ended up having something like that. Something like this. Something like, now this is what I'm having here. But in this next part I'm going to, we are going to now modify this one further. How? Now, instead of having this, now this one which was like this, gets modified and forms other branches. You find from that one, you now have other branches like that. Then here you also have another branch like this. You also have another branch here like that. Even this one which was one, like here, it also again branches itself further. And therefore, it also gets another branch like that, then another branch like this, then another branch like that. Likewise, even this one, which was originally like this, now also again gets subdivided, and you end up also having something like that, then like that here. So when you check here, you see this one now is becoming complex. So you can imagine all these ones here are later all releasing their secretion, and their secretions later come and join up here. And then this one, whatever has been secreted comes up here like that. So such kind of a gland now you see, I think this one we can no longer call it simple. No. I think now it has become complex, but we don't call it complex, but we call it compound. So this one now becomes compound. But it is compound, yeah, because it is having very many other components. So like the way you know a compound leaf has got different smaller leaves which we call leaflets. So this is called a compound, but it is circular. The final things are circular. So we call it compound circular. Compound circular gland. Why? Yeah, it is compound because it has very many other smaller components. It means from this one, if I pick out this one here will be a simple branched. If I come and I pick out this one here, I will have a simple branched. If I come and I pick out this one here, I will just have a simple saccharoid just. So here it has been a combination of very many. So very many simple branched saccharoid combined together, they form a compound saccharoid. And in this kind of gland, the best example I can give you is this is how the mammary glands look like. This is how the mammary glands look like. You can go and Google. You can go and Google about or read about you can go and look about the mammary glands and see how the appearance, their structure. You find that this is the appearance. You go on Google and try to type in mammary glands and the shape. You find them which are when they are like this. Then on this side also, I also come and modify. How do I modify? Now I come originally I was supposed to be having something. I'm having something like this. Like this. But now I am going to modify this. I'm going to break this one further. So if I break this one further, you find that now this one which was supposed to be this, from it I have other tube-like structures like that. Like that. Then this one which was supposed to be one, it also breaks down. And now it also gives me other tube-like structures. Other tubular-like structures like that. Even this one which was supposed to be one, also again divides itself into other tube-like structures like that, and then like that. So when you check this one, you see this one has become complicated. This one has become more complex. So if this one is called compound saccharoid, now you can easily tell what this one is going to be. So it means this one now is going to be compound, but of course not saccharoid. Compound, but these are like tubes. So this is going to be compound tubular. This is going to be compound tubular gland. And the best example here for those ones who have done a lot of dissections and so on and so forth, this is how salivary glands look like. So this is the best example I can give you here is salivary glands. So this is how salivary glands look like. Now for those ones who are studying and you're not watching just to enrich yourself, but you're just studying for exams and so on. Yeah, this is very, very, very common in exams. So we have all these different types. So these are different types of exocrine glands depending on the shape. However, before I conclude, there is one more feature, one more gland, because someone might say, there's another gland that I know whose shape is not any of those. Maybe you might be thinking about this gland that I'm going to talk about next. And this gland is none other than the sweat gland. Now, for those who know sweat gland, who have already said about the sweat gland has got a unique structure. And that structure is like this. Good enough, it is under tubular. But for it, it is special in a way. It is special in a way that you have a tube, yes, but this tube later, kind of coils a bit. So you have something like this, which later coils up, like that. So in this case, such kind of a gland, for example, and this is a sweat gland. Sweat gland. Such kind of gland, yes, we may not put it anywhere here, but you can give it a special name. And this special name is called, we can call it simple, yeah, because it's just a single thing. Yeah, it is tubular, because it's like a tube, but because of the coiling, we can add the word coiled. So we can call it simple coiled. Simple coiled what? Tubular. So this is now the one which is a special one, a special kind of tubular gland. So for it is simple one. Coiled, because you can see, and it is tubular, it's like a tube. Yeah, so that is it. So I hope you are learning a lot, and I want to tell you that we are unfolding more. We have more which is coming. So make sure you check out for the next episode, because we are here to break down things and make them very simple. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.